got to share it. Good idea should not get you tears. Oh no, oh.
Welcome back to the P.I Show. Before the break we were talking about damages and compensation for injuries, and the final segment tonight is an important segment, which is viewers' questions. It's terribly important if you've got any questions, any queries about personal injuries, that you look up our website and send in questions. Tonight we're going to deal with a variety of questions which Tony's mailbag deals with.
Thank you, Harry. Question number one's from a fellow named Tony as well. I'm presently in the process of claiming impairment compensation from workplace injury. I was told this claim would take 3 months, yet I'm in the 4th month and still haven't heard anything. Is this normal?
It probably is not atypical or unusual. Impairments for a work injury, generally, the injury's got to be stabilised. Generally, you can lodge an impairment claim after 12 months. And generally the Work Cover Authority will then send you to a doctor, and the doctor will then assess you under a table which is based on American guidelines, and then they will send in writing to you their final assessment. Then you've got the right to then take it to a medical panel if you're not happy with that assessment.
It sounds to me that this must be a pre-1999 injury, because what would a lawyer say it's going to take 3 months?
No, 3 months from the date it's lodged.
Oh, okay.
So I think...
Tony, I think, look, there's such a wide variety of factual situations. Again, I harp back onto that. If it's a simple injury and you only need one specialty or one modality, let's just say it's a broken finger and we need it to be seen by an orthopaedic surgeon, I can see that taking a short period of time. But if somebody's had a number of injuries, a myriad of complaints,
hand, wrist,
they need
shoulder, neck,
neurologist, neurosurgeon, orthopaedic surgeon, there will not be a resolution in 3 months. So I would suggest that what's been indicated there, it is hopefully a simple injury, one body part, and maybe it'll take 3 to 4 months. Otherwise, it could take sometimes up to 12 months.
Otherwise, ring your lawyer and find out what's going on.
I think so.
Should be some communication.
Look, the other complicating factor is that, as you say, there are multiple injuries, and Work Cover may have accepted one and not accepted another one.
Right. And you've got to work out where
and then you've got to work out...
will you just contest it, or will you just move on?
What happens in those circumstances. So often it's complicated with multiple injuries. I agree with that.
I got another fellow called Low, L-O-W. He says, I was injured when the roof of an office fell down and hit him in the head, back, neck, shoulders, and this was 3 months ago. He's put in certificates of capacity. It's been 3 months. He says his wages have been reduced to 75%. Still can't work. What should I do? When can I get compensation? It's a pretty broad question, but he's obviously getting his no-fault benefits there.
Well, he gets compensation from the date of accident and ongoing, which are no-fault benefits.
Which it appears that's what's happening at the moment.
So he's getting no-fault benefits, weekly payments. So his wages have been reduced after 3 months down to 75%.
But he might be entitled to make-up pay, Harry, and I think he should look into that.
Well, that's an industrial employment question. So in some employment agreements, you're entitled to the balance of the 25% that you've lost under an employment agreement, usually for 12 months or up to 18 months or 2 years.
Well, the building industry's got some pretty good coverage, in a lot of instances 2 years.
They have coverage over 2 years. But I think Martin raised the issue about there seems to be prima facie fault.
Yeah, it sounds to me that
something's
not right.
Something's not right. Someone hasn't secured the ceiling properly. The ceiling's collapsed, and the person's then got to consider suing the owner or occupier of that building
in the course of his employment. So, Harry, my assessment of that factual situation is he's in the course of his employment. It's early days. He should go and seek legal advice. He's entitled to his statutory no-fault benefits, which you've said, his wages, his medicals, his rehabilitation, his ongoing treatment. However, he may have, if he's got an ongoing serious injury, which we've talked about on the previous programs, he may be entitled to common law damages. That will be, firstly, I would think, maybe against his employer, also the owner of the building.
Well, it sounds to me that you'd probably be after your employer and the occupier.
That's right.
Or the owner of the building.
I think that's yeah.
No,
I
Harry,
think
I've got one more quick one.
Okay.
A fellow called Paul says he's. How can you tell if you're contributory negligent in a back injury claim? And what if you are under surveillance and injury gets better after a payout? Do you have to repay?
Well, there's two parts to that question. There's contributory negligence is, again, the courts have got to take into account fault of a wrongdoer and the fault of the plaintiff.
Yes.
They've got to look at both sides of the story.
Competing responsibilities.
Yeah, and contributing negligence is a matter of judgment, and getting back to your point, the facts are terribly important.
Absolutely.
The facts are terribly
And
important.
do you have to repay unless there's? My short answer to that would be unless there's been fraud involved. The answer is no.
Once and for all settlements, and if the injury gets worse, you can't go back. If injury gets better, the insurer can't go back.
That's right.
Once and for all, you settle your damages.
I agree with that.
Harry, can I just repeat again? I'd like the viewers to send in more of these questions. I find them very entertaining. I think we find them.
They're
very interesting.
entertaining and interesting. They've got to look up our website and then send emails and whatever questions, short questions, long questions.
We're
I think
interested.
they're always fascinating.
If they've got any queries, and as I've said many a time, consult a lawyer.
That's it. I agree.
Thanks for watching. We'll be back next week.
Thank you, viewers.
Thank you.